Yep. Okay. I'd like to call to order the Facilities and Capital Planning Subcommittee meeting of Monday, November 16th, 2020. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12th, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law C-30A, S-18, and the Governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Shawsheen Valley Regional Vocational Technical School District Subcommittee will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to listen or watch the meeting may do so by accessing the meeting link above. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. In the event that we are unable to do so, despite best efforts, we will post on the Shawsheen website on an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive recording of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. At this time, I'd like to call the roll call of the subcommittee. Mrs. Gillis.
Sorry, here.
Mr. Geddick.
Here.
Mr. Moffett.
Here.
And Mr. Fusco, the chair, is present. Also attending tonight is Superintendent Dr. Brad Jackson and Assistant Superintendent Miss Melanie Hagman. So with that in mind, second item on the agenda tonight is the minutes. Everybody had a chance to take a look at those, dated October 6th. Are there any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes of October 6th.
Second.
And the roll call vote, Mrs. Gillis,
Aye.
Mr. Moffett,
Aye.
Mr. Geddick,
Aye.
and the chair votes yes. Unanimous 4-0. Second, third item on the agenda, the reason we're gathering here tonight is to discuss the recommendations for the auditorium ceiling repairs. Mr. Geddick and I had a discussion, and after the last meeting, talked to Superintendent Jackson's office and found out that the bids came in. So this is my first go around on this. So I'm assuming, I just want to ask Ms. Hagman, if I can ask you the question. So the school has a contract with the architect. Am I correct on this?
Correct.
And the architect then solicits the bids for a
He
job like this? Okay,
He works with the school district to put the bid specs together.
okay,
And once the package is complete, he posts it on Project Dog, and it goes out to any contractor at that point in time can see it. It's posted on the state's website. So anyone, contractor that would like to pull specs, they can. We have a mandatory pre-bidders meeting. So the contractors have to come to the school and see the actual physical space. They did that, then they submitted their bids. There's a filed sub bid, and then we had a general bid opening.
I see. So they have to be pre-approved to even bid on this thing
Yes.
for any project. Okay, thank you. I just, I'm learning. This is my first
No, that's all
experience
good.
in it. Thank you. No, this is a project that I saw firsthand. The auditorium has not been in use, and you answered the question for over a year now. This is what, the second school year?
Yep, about that, yeah.
And that's where we sit on this. Superintendent Jackson, you wanted to add anything?
Well, I just for the public who may not be aware, the auditorium was closed when some portions of the plaster of the auditorium ceiling collapsed onto the stage. We had the architect, who is an architect that we've used on a number of projects, come in to review the space and the condition of the ceiling, and the architect expressed some concerns that this ceiling failure may not be the only one we could expect to experience. which caused us some concern, which originally caused Ms. Hagman to correctly order the auditorium closed, and ultimately caused us to put out a bid to replace the entire portion of the entire ceiling. And with that, if I could just ask Ms. Hagman to summarize what the scope of work is for these for this project for these contractors. What are we asking them to do that caused this bid that they responded to this bid?
So they would be scraping the entire ceiling. So it's not just the areas that are affected. The concern is there are other areas, I don't know how well you could see them, but there are other areas that are showing cracks and have a little bit of bubbling. I actually went in there myself before this, and you can stick your thumb through it. It's very brittle, the whole plaster. So the concern is, like Brad said, at any point in time, another section could come down. So the goal or the scope was to scrape the entire ceiling and replaster the whole thing. And this way they can confidently say it's been looked at and everything is secured at that time. The biggest cost is actually the staging. Because of the uneven flooring, there's going to be staging throughout. There's, in the ceiling, you've got lights, you've got the fire alarm fixtures, all of that has to be taken into consideration. And that's why it's high. The price is high. But we do feel it's the safest thing at this point in order to get it reopened.
May I ask what has caused the ceiling? And I'm not saying we don't fix the whole thing, because I thoroughly agree. The problem's in one place, you fix the whole thing. But what has caused this failure?
It's 50 years old, the building. There's no real answer. It's just old.
It's not water damage or a leak in the roof or anything like that.
No, it's just old and brittle and has lived its life expectancy.
Yeah. When I first heard of it, I thought we had a leak in the roof, but yeah. So I understand.
One of the vendors who responded to the bid, when these are all people who work in this area, not expressed an opinion, but expressed a hypothesis that one of the issues that may have been contributing to this is big temperature changes to the auditorium in the summer. Apparently, our former facilities director didn't keep that space air conditioned, so it would be getting hot, very hot in there. So there's been some conjecture, and I don't have any expertise on this to suggest that this is the cause, but there was some conjecture that the significant heat buildup in that room, and perhaps even moisture, because as you know, summer air can get moist, especially when it's not moving, and may have undermined the ceiling. Again, that's only conjecture, though.
Now, did everybody see the photos that were sent out?
Yes.
And I thank Melanie. Thank you for that. And I got some more from Karen today. Yeah, because I had seen it firsthand, Paul, but for Kent's purposes, who hasn't had a chance to tour it, and I don't know. I'm sure Taryn. I assume you had seen the auditorium, but I just want to cover everybody's here what we're getting involved with here. So yes, the space needs to be returned to the staff and to the students. We're forced into the cafeteria now, and I think it's something that needs to be addressed. So there were, as Melanie said, 3 bids that came in.
Yes.
Okay.
And the Marino, the contractor, the Lowe, he's actually the one that did the Teachers Cafe
Yes.
in
Yes.
culinary. So
Yes.
familiar with the building. He worked well with us. I thought he did a really nice job. Was communicated the whole time.
Okay. You
So
were
I feel
pleased.
confident with him.
You've been pleased with their work. So if we approve this, what's the timeline? I know we may not be able to use the space this school year, but when they do the work, how soon?
The original goal was to hopefully get it back up and open in December. So depending on approval from the school committee,
Okay.
we'll talk to the contractor about timelines. But the goal originally was to get it done in December.
Okay. And so
good-
how did he
The
say?
good news is that the auditorium's empty, so they can work.
Yeah,
They can work as long as we create a separate space for them, a separate entrance.
right.
And we can have that work go on while school is in session.
And how
And-
long would they need? Excuse me.
All right, and just so you know, Kent, there is a side door there, right from the outside that goes right in, so they do not have to enter any other part of the building, so we can contain them to one area. So that'll be, good for the safety of everybody else.
So they could do this job in a month or so, realistically.
That was the original.
And it would take how long approximately, do they say? We don't know yet.
Well, originally, like I said, we were hoping to get it done in a month and a half. Now,
Okay.
depending,
Yeah,
including today, now we're getting into Thanksgiving, so.
okay.
Depending, but
Well, that's
we'll
good
work
news.
with them to
Okay.
get it done as soon as possible.
Okay.
They all know we're having a meeting tonight. I
Okay.
spoke to the architect at 5:00 today. So they
great.
know.
Okay. Does anybody have any other comments?
The work they're doing, is it just plastering? Are they painting? They replacing any like structural stuff underneath?
No, it's just scraping down the plaster and replastering at this point.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I know I redid a ceiling on my bathroom, and like if to Brad's point, like if this is like other problems, if it's not like if it's not painted, or if it's if like venting needs to be put in or something like that, like to Brad's point too, like if the prior wasn't like AC or whatever it is to properly monitor the temperature, like is all that stuff going to be taken into consideration long term?
Yes, we have an energy management system now that we didn't have before, and actually it was just finished. We just upgraded it. It was approved in the capital budget, and it's updated, complete now. So that will be on that system to make sure that it's regulated. And it wasn't uncommon before. No one's in the building during the summer. You didn't really think about, you'd shut different areas down. But I think now, because of the energy management system, it's a little bit easier to control.
And the assumption is that they're not going to find any big surprises when they do pull the plaster down.
Correct.
We hope not.
We
Knock
did
on lots
have
of
the
wood.
materials tested, and they're clean, for lack of a better way of saying it. That was one of the first things we did when it came down was, again, 50-year-old building. So you want to go out and have that kind of stuff tested, and we did.
Yeah,
And,
you don't know. Yes.
That's
So
good.
So Melanie, you would recommend keeping the ventilation, don't shut it down or just monitor it?
Monitor it, yes.
Okay, so,
Really
because
should keep it.
because it seems like during the summertime, there wasn't air conditioned in there, so,
Right.
okay, yeah, okay, I'm just thinking about these things.
Do they have to put like any, like if they're redoing the plastering, is there any like lighting or vents or anything that need, I mean, once you rip down plaster, like, whatever's up there, is there anything that needs to be like, I'm just going based on home repair that I've done.
Yeah.
You open a can of worms. So I'm just saying, like, is there
Yep.
anything, I mean, it probably would have to be repainted afterwards, but is there any like new lights that need to be updated or vents or like,
No.
like venting or anything like that?
Nope. And the
Okay.
GC is responsible to keep them in the same condition.
Just Ken, for your sake, I hesitate to call this space an auditorium by most definitions. It falls far short of what a high school auditorium is. Its seating capacity is probably 150 people.
Yeah, maybe,
140.
that's pushing it.
So it as a functional auditorium, it actually has very little functionality. However, in this time when we need every square inch of Shawsheen to keep students socially distanced, this is a critically important space to us. So the quicker we can get it online, the better, the more flexible we'll be. We could perhaps be able to get some of our gym back, and perhaps address some issues there. So It's our recommendation that the subcommittee recommend to the full committee that they accept the bid from Marino Construction for the replacement, the auditorium ceiling repair project.
Just curious,
Oh,
why is
go ahead.
why is one of the contractors like, way higher? I mean, the other two are within $7,000 of each other. Why is the other one like almost $200,000? Just they are way higher.
It's fishing, so you throw a high number if you get it great.
Yeah.
If not, no big deal.
Mhm.
Common in these, you always
That's it.
see a couple of high outliers.
Paul, do you have any thoughts?
What's that?
Any comments? Are you good?
Yeah, I think Marino's great. We've had great success with them in the past. They know what they're doing. We're very happy with them.
Okay. Karen, any comments, Karen?
No,
Kath?
sounds like it's been well researched, and
Okay.
that's always the good first step.
Okay. I think, well, we're
I
all
do
on
want
the
to
same
say
page. Go ahead.
when we announce this, let's announce loud and clear that there is not, that it is clean. Because I will tell you anecdotally, having kids, knowing teachers, mostly the kids, oh, there's asbestos in there, and there isn't.
We don't want to say
So
that.
let's say
No.
that.
There's not.
Let's, clearly
No,
say
it's-
that is not the
It'll
problem.
be announced at the.
And
at the ceiling.
I think since we, I think it's clear, I think we should be clear. We tested it immediately after the initial ceiling portion fell down and everything came back negative. So that's the good news.
Yeah, that's very good news.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion that the facility subcommittee approve Marino Construction as the contractor to repair the auditorium ceiling.
So
So
motion,
moved.
And we'll do the roll call. Mrs. Gillis,
aye.
Mr. Geddick,
Yes.
Mr. Moffett,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes, 4-0 affirmative. So the
Thank you.
contract will be awarded to Marino Construction, and they hopefully will start the project as soon as possible. Before we adjourn, any other comments? Anybody?
Just wanted, that will be, Mr. Chairman, it'll be your responsibility to report this out to the school.
Correct. I will be
It will
making,
be on
thank
the
you,
agenda. It will be on the agenda.
thank you. Yes, thank you, Superintendent Jackson. I'll make the full report to all the members on Tuesday, next Tuesday's meeting. And at that point there, I will ask, at the report, we'll ask for a vote of the full committee so we can move forward on this project. And so that would be where we're at. Okay, so anybody else have anything else?
Nope.
And if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So motion,
When is the next meeting? Is it
Second.
Next meeting will be the
week
24th.
from tomorrow.
Full meeting is the 24th, Tuesday.
Week
Put it
from
on your
tomorrow.
calendar. Can't, don't be late. So we may be, we'll find out. We're probably going to be Zoom. So on the
It's going to
motion,
be Zoom.
we're going to be Zoom. Yeah, I'm going to say that right now. On the motion to adjourn, Mrs. Gillis,
Aye.
Mr. Geddick,
Yes.
Mr. Moffett,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. So thanks, everybody, for taking time out of your day, and we'll see each other next Tuesday. Thank you
Take
very
care.
much.
Take care.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Good night,
Good night, everybody.
Good
Thank
to
you.
see you all.
Have a great night. Night, Brad. Night, Melanie.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.